So let's start the class. Yeah. So yesterday we talked about the partnership. Okay. So what is partnership and how it is formed, and up till various types of partnership we have actually gone for. Okay. So today itself we will be just doing it about what the partnership. Let me just revise this for you what we have done yesterday. So yes. So we will be discussing today about the means various kinds of partners, and what we have done now is regarding the introduction of the partnership. We have studied the definition of the partnership under Section 4 of the Partnership Act, and there are various, you can say, the features of the partnership we have gone with. Right, so there are 5 features which we have, key features which we have gone with the partnership, like association of 2 or more persons are there, agreement is there, and there has to be some business sharing of profit. And the most important thing is the mutual agency, which is the true test of partnership. That is, the partners must be mutually the agents of each other, and they are mutually the principals also of each other. So this is what we have done till now, and further we have also done the formation of partnership, in which we have also talked about the partnership deed. What is partnership deed? What are the various contents of partnership deed? And what is the importance of partnership deed? We have actually known in the yesterday's class. Now today we will be starting with the classification of partnership. What are the various types of partners, and what this partnership means, and how do we proceed further with these things? Okay, so let me just take you off further with the this classification of partnership. So partnership in the Partnership Act is given as if it is basically mainly of the 2 types of partnership. One is called particular partnership, which is given under Section 8, and another one is the Partnership at Will, which is given under Section 7. So a particular partnership is a person may become a partner with another partner in particular venture or undertaking or a particular period of time. So that will be called particular partnership. Okay. So if it is means the scope of the partnership is limited just to the completion of the venture or undertaking or a particular period. So when 2 or more persons agree to do business in a particular adventure, or you can say venture or undertaking, or any particular period, such partnership is called particular partnership. And thus the particular partnership may even be for a single venture or undertaking. So most important thing regarding this particular partnership is that as soon as that venture is over, as soon as that undertaking is no more, or as soon as the period for which the partnership has been established is not there, so the partnership will come to an end immediately. So there is no formality required in order to finish this partnership off if it is related to the particular partnership. Okay. So this is regarding the partnership as such. So Sachin Yadav, तुम्हारा पंखा चल रहा है. So partnership at will, that is section number 7. So where no provisions is made regarding, so this is actually a partnership which is at will. At will means at the will, or you can say at the discretion of the partner. If any partner wants to dissolve the partnership, he can do it. So where there is no provision in the contract between the partners regarding the duration of their partnership and for the determination of their partnership, the partnership is called partnership at will. So partnership is deemed to be a partnership at will when no fixed period is there agreed upon between the partner regarding the duration, and there is no provision made as to determination of partnership in any other way. Means there is nothing given in the partnership deed regarding that you will be having the partnership for such and such period of time, or you will be having partnership up to only finishing of this venture which is going on. Suppose partnership is done for preparation of a flyover of the city. So as soon as the flyover of the city is over, the money has been received, both the partners have distributed the profits, the partnership is over. So there is no other formality required in order to over such partnership if the partnership is at will. At the same time, there is a risk also, because it provides that where a partnership is at will, the firm may be dissolved by any partner giving a notice in writing to all the other partners of his intention to dissolve the firm. So even one partner, if he is not willing, he can dissolve the entire firm. Okay, so the firm is dissolved as from the date mentioned in the notice as the date of the dissolution, and if such date is mentioned as from the date of communication of the notice. So whatever, if some date is there regarding that, regarding the communication of the notice itself, otherwise it will come to over at the time when the one partner has approached other partners and giving them a notice in writing that I want to dissolve the partnership. So from with effect from that date itself, the partnership will be treated as an over. So it will be totally finished at that time. So if the firm is dissolved from the date of mentioned in the notice as the resolution or by the communication. So if the communication is not there, then the notice of the dissolution. If the date of communication is mentioned, it means that the date of communication will be considered and treated as such, right? So now we are having various types of classification on the basis of now we will distinguishing this partnership with the other types of things also, right? So that here the so we have to, so this is what is the work which I want all of you to do also. So this is we will be doing. So as soon as we will be going with this, I will be asking any one of you that you have to just tell me about the various differences, and while you will be telling me, you can write the differences in a piece of a paper, in a copy, or in a paper of a copy. You have to prepare it very neatly and cleanly. So what you can do is prepare, just take some scale along with you, and put a line which describes the serial number, SL serial number, and next column will be the basis of the data difference. The next column will be the partnership, and then next column will be the co-ownership. Okay, so we'll be talking about the co-ownership also over here. So co-ownership, joint Hindu family, and company. Along with the partnership, we have to see this. Okay, so accordingly, as soon as we will be keep on studying this, you can make your notes by your own, and make the points in the basis, and just if the difference is between only two, then just put dash in the other in other columns where the difference is not there. Okay, so let us start. So before I start, I would like to ask you, any one of you, can you distinguish between a partnership and a co-ownership? What is a co-ownership and how it is different from partnership? Abhishek Singh Sisodia. Abhishek Singh Sisodia, are you there? Abhishek Sisodia. Naman, Lagan, Chirayu, whosoever is there, please. Sangya Gupta, yeah, you mark absent to Abhishek Singh Sisodia. Sangya, please mark absent. Just you write it, and then afterwards we will just upload it on our WhatsApp group. Okay. So mark Abhishek Singh Sisodia absent, and yes, Sangya, you please tell the difference between the partnership and co-ownership. Come on.
So a partnership arises from a contract between two people and the motive is to earn profit, whereas co-ownership is when collectively two, three people buy a property and they do not as such have a motive of running a business or earning profit.
Okay, so they just own a property and there is no agreement. So that is what it is. So if we see it, we can just find that there is a possibility that two co-owners may employ their property in a business and share the profits. Still, they will not be the partners. So there is a difference between the co-ownership and partnership. The first most point is the partnership is between two persons. So co-ownership can have two or any number. So there is no maximum number of the co-owners. So there can be 100 co-owners of a property also. So they all will be called as a co-owner, but you cannot call all as a partner because partnership should not exceed 20 in general business, and maximum number of partners cannot be more than 10 in case of a banking business. Please write it down somewhere. So maximum number of partners can be one of the difference which you can write. Okay. So what is next? The co-ownership is not always the result of an agreement. So genesis, you can say the origin. Origin is that the co-ownership is not always the result of an agreement, as it may arise by by operation of law or from the status, that is co-hires of the property. So partnership must arise from an agreement. So partnership is the genesis of partnership is an agreement, but in case of co-ownership, it can be even the legal hires of any property without doing anything may also become the co-owners of the property. So there may or may not be agreement which is required in co-ownership, but particularly for partnership there is a requirement of an agreement. So without agreement there will be no partnership. Okay. So next is partner is an agent for all the other partners, but co-owners are not agent of other co-owners. So this is a very important difference, that the co-owners may not be called as a co-owners because they do not have the means they do not have the property of the mutual agency. So because the property of mutual agency is absent, so co-owners may not be called as a partner because they do not represent each other or they do not represent others. So activity of one co-owner may not represent the activity of other, or it cannot bind other also in any of the ways. But in case of partners, the act done by one partner completely binds the other partner. So there is a binding between the partners if it is said like that. Okay, so it's like that. So co-ownership does not necessarily involve the community of profits and loss, but the partnership does. So there is a commitment between the co-owners regarding the sharing of profit and loss, but there is no such commitment because agreement is totally absent. Next is the co-owner can transfer his rights and interest to the strangers without the consent of the others, but partner cannot do so. So if you want some partners to be replaced, so you have to take the consent of all the other partners. Without that, you cannot do it. So in co-ownership, you can transfer your co-ownership share to anyone else. Even the interest and the rights in that can be transferred to someone else. So, but not possible in case of partnership. In case of partnership, you have to take the consent of all the partners in order to even replace yourself with someone else. Okay, so that is what it is. Further, a co-owner can ask for a division of the property in the specie, but no partner can ask for this. So division of property can happen if there is a co-ownership, and his only right is to have a share in the profits out of the properties, not he cannot just actually ask for the division of the properties as such, because as soon as he can ask for the dissolution of the firm, and then afterwards whatsoever the firm will receive the dividend that can be distributed amongst the partners, but he cannot ask for the division of property, that this is the tera and ये मेरा है और ये इतना हो गया. ये this cannot be possible, but co-owners can do that. Okay, so co-owners sometimes they just put a line between the house and they said that उधर वाला house तुम्हारा हुआ, इधर वाला house मेरा हुआ. So it's something like that can happen, but not in case of partnership. Further, a co-owner has no lien on the property where the partner has a lien on the property of the firm, right? So co-owners cannot just have that. This privilege is available to the partners only. Next is the Hindu undivided family and partnership. So anyone, what is HUF? Can anyone tell me? What is Hindu undivided family? Anyone of you? HUF. What is that? किसी को भी नहीं पता HUF क्या होता है? Anyone? What is HUF?
So it's like a inherited family business.
Sorry?
It's like an inherited family business which only runs in the family.
Absolutely. This is something which is related to family business. It runs in the family. Very good, Sahil Khandelwal, because this is regarding because nobody else from outside can be the member of that business. Okay, and one person who is called Karta will be responsible for each and everything. So all the peoples of the family business, can we call them as a partners? Any one of you? One person Karta who is the head of the family, and there are other persons in the family. Can we call all these other persons as a partners of the family? Can we do that?
Yes, sir.
Anyone else?
No, sir.
Why so? Dipti is saying yes. Who is saying no?
Sir, because they do have.
Dipti, why you said yes?
Sir, I'm not sure, but because sir, all of them are like in one business only, so they all are partners of each other.
Yeah, the way you have thought is you are correct. The way you have thought is correct. But actually, what the thing is, Dipti, I told you na, that there has to be a agreement in order to be in the partnership. But whenever a person takes birth in a family, he will become the member of the HUF. Okay, and he will also be given uh, the portion of the property in HUF also. Okay, so the time a person has born, he will be having his share in the property. Okay, okay, Dipti. So there, if there is any contract between all these people, then they will no more become, they will no more be called as a HUF. Then it will become a partnership, and it will govern under a partnership only. Yeah, Neha Goplan, you want to say something?
नो सर, बता तो दिया आपने सर।
ओके, बता दिया तुमने तो
सर
कुछ बता
खाली
दिया।
तो सर मैंने बहुत पहले पढ़ा था तो आई जस्ट डोंट रिमेम्बर। आई गेस किसी एक स्टेट में होता है ना जहाँ मतलब डॉटर्स को भी मिलता है हिंदू जॉइंट
Bengal.
फैमिली।
क्या चीज?
किसी एक स्टेट में डॉटर्स को भी हिंदू जॉइंट फैमिली के राइट्स मिलते हैं। आई एम नॉट श्योर बिकॉज बहुत पहले पढ़ा था मैंने, मेरे को वो स्टेट नहीं याद आ रहा।
नहीं नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं। हिंदू अनडिवाइडेड फैमिली इज टोटली डिफरेंट। इट इज ओनली वन लॉ इन एंटायर इंडिया इज रिगार्डिंग HUF, दैट इज हिंदू लॉ। ओके, हिंदू लॉ इज अ वेरी बिग लॉ। It is regarding the family also, it is regarding the marriage also, the lot of things are there. Okay, so it is applicable only to Hindus. Fine.
Sir, but it is a thing in Bengal.
हाँ बंगाल, राइट। मेरे को भी बंगाल का कुछ तो याद है बट नॉट श्योर कि आई गेस
Yeah,
कुछ तो
but
डॉटर्स
HUF
से
से नहीं था
रिलेटेड
उसमें,
था।
whatever it is
HUF से
there,
नहीं था वो
उसको जो
डायरेक्ट
भी याद है, it is not concerned, we are not concerned about that over here, right? So the Hindu undivided family, we are concerned about that only. Yes, Sangya, you want to say something?
नहीं सर, हो गया।
Okay, beta. So let us proceed.
Sir,
Neha,
can I sir?
आगे?
हेलो सर।
हाँ जी।
हाँ,
हाँ
मुझे एक चीज
राघव,
पूछनी है।
हाँ बोलो।
सर आप को ओनरशिप के बारे में पढ़ा रहे हो, सर आपने असाइनमेंट तो ओनरशिप के ऊपर दे दिया है।
बेटा को ओनरशिप ये सारे के सारे लिखने ना, आपको वही तो कह रहा हूँ। तो असाइनमेंट जो दिया है आपको, मैं आपने देखा नहीं, आप अभी पेंसिल कॉपी लेके बैठो, अभी हो जाएगा असाइनमेंट।
नहीं वो नहीं कह रहा मैं सर,
फिर
वो तो लिखा हुआ है, पर आपने जो असाइनमेंट हमें भेजा था ना ग्रुप में,
हाँ,
उसमें सिर्फ ओनरशिप लिख के भेज दिया है।
नहीं, तीन चीजों
हाँ।
का लिखना है। मैंने वो एक्चुअली दैट वाज अ रेफरेंस व्हिच आई जस्ट कॉपीड फ्रॉम एंड पेस्टेड टू योर ग्रुप।
हाँ, आपने
तो
लिखा था ना
हाँ,
पार्टनरशिप,
रेफरेंस इज
ओनरशिप
दैट।
एंड
हाँ
हिंदू।
राघव, सारे के सारा लिखना है। अभी मैंने बता दिया कैसे करना है उसको, तो उसको छोड़ दो, ग्रुप पे क्या आया, लीव इट।
ओके सर।
ओके, सो अभी जो अपन कर रहे हैं उसके हिसाब से अपन पूरा डिफरेंस लिखेंगे, ठीक है ना?
यस सर।
सचिन, यू वांट टू से समथिंग?
सर कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा सर।
समझ नहीं आ रहा मतलब?
सर वो जैसे आपने ग्रुप पे तो 3 वो अलग दिए हैं, अभी आप किस पे डिफरेंस करवा रहे हो सर?
कोई बात नहीं बेटा, मैं अभी समझा देता हूँ तुमको, एक
सर
मिनट।
समझा दी।
तेरे को आएगा भी नहीं समझ में, तू छोड़।
बीच में बोल।
कोई बात नहीं, अभी आ जाएगा बेटा, कोई ऐसी बात नहीं। ठीक है, ये देखो मैं अभी तुमको बता देता हूँ करना क्या है। तो मैं इसको अभी यहीं पे शेयरिंग इसकी बंद कर रहा हूँ और आपको जो दूसरा है वो बता देता हूँ क्या करना है। तो ये ब्लैंक शीट देख रहे हो ना? ओके,
ग्रुप पे मैसेज ही कर देना
yes,
सर।
नहीं मैसेज नहीं आया, जस्ट सी इट व्हाट आई
पूरा।
एम डूइंग।
क्या पता सारे बच्चे यहाँ पे नहीं है ना अभी ऑनलाइन, उनको कैसे वो कैसे करेंगे को उस पे
ओके,
डाल।
व्हाट यू हैव टू डू
लामा
इज
तो
यू
कर ले, क्या
हैव
बकवास
टू
कर रहा है?
प्रिपेयर। यस प्लीज बी
बोल भाई
साइलेंट,
क्या बोल रहे हो?
be silent now. What you have to do is you have to just prepare this thing which I am just preparing over here, right? Serial number, basis, partnership, ownership, HUF, and company. समझ गए होंगे अब तुम वैसे तो। Now what you have to do is you have to just write the differences between all these. Okay, इन सब में differences लिखना है। जैसे serial number 1 जो आपका difference आया पहले है number of participants। पार्टनरशिप में कितने हो सकते हैं? 2 minimum 2 maximum
infinity।
yeah 10 in case of banking business
50 होता है ना मैक्स।
and 20 in case of
50 होता है ना मैक्स तो पार्टनरशिप में तो।
right co-ownership minimum 2 maximum no limit
infinity।
okay HUF no limit minimum 1 fine company प्राइवेट कंपनी कितने होते हैं? प्राइवेट कंपनी मैक्सिमम मेंबर्स कितने होते हैं?
20।
100 ओके ये मैक्सिमम है। प्राइवेट 200 पब्लिक में कितने होते हैं? अनलिमिटेड ओके मिनिमम प्राइवेट में कितने? 2 ओके एंड पब्लिक में 7 ओके लाइक दिस। ये डिफरेंस हो गया आपका, ठीक है। नेक्स्ट डिफरेंस सेकंड डिफरेंस है एजेंसी म्यूचुअल एजेंसी। इसमें होती है, इसमें नहीं होती है, इसमें भी नहीं होती है, इसमें भी नहीं होती है। ओके तो इस तरह से लिखना है, ठीक है। अभी मैं एक एक करके आपको समझाऊंगा, तो इस तरह से आपको जो है वो पूरा, लेकिन ये सब मुझे हाथ से बना हुआ चाहिए और नीटली एंड क्लीनली बना हुआ चाहिए। ओके चलो फाइन। Okay, so let me just take you further to the HUF. So Hindu undivided family, or you can say Hindu joint family firm and a partnership, what is different? So partnership comes into existence by means of a contract between the partners. HUF, HUF, or you can say Hindu undivided, arises just a result of the status. That is by birth in the family. So anyone who is taking birth in the family will be the part of that HUF. Next is the death of the partner dissolves the partnership, but the death of the co-partners does not. So यहाँ पर क्या बोलते हैं उसको? Co-partner बोलते हैं. तो यहाँ पर क्या हुआ? What this participant is called? Participant is called co-partner in HUF. It is called partner in case of partnership. It is called co-owner in case of co-ownership, and it will be called member in case of company. Okay, so this is the difference what the participant will be called. Okay, first we have written number of participants. So up the second point लिख सकते हो what participant is called as. Fine. Next is every partner. Now it is implied authority. Now what happens? The death of the partner dissolves the partnership, but not in case of company, neither in case of any of the things. Means in the undivided family also, even if the karta will die, what will happen? The senior most person in the family will become the karta. Okay. So in joint family firm, only the karta or the manager has implied authority to borrow and bind the partners, no other partner. So there is no mutual agency in this. So in partnership, each partner is entitled to do so, and that will bind the partnership also. And next is every partner is personally liable for the debts of the firm. In a joint family business, only karta is personally liable. So whatsoever liability will be there, it will be the personal liability of the karta. So if any of the partnership, it means it totally depends on what the thing karta will do, and accordingly it will accordingly the thing will bind the other. Yeah, Raghav. Any problem? Any problem, Raghav?
No sir.
Fine.
Sorry sir, गलती से unmute हो गया था.
Okay. So every partner yes. So every partner is personally liable for the debts of the firm. In joint family business, only karta is personally liable. Minor is a member of a joint family from the very day of his birth. Okay, by the virtue of this status, his status, but he is not liable. Minor cannot be a partner. So in a new firm, if you are going to have a new firm, a minor cannot be a partner. But in the existing firm, minor can be admitted as a partner by the consent of all the existing people or all the existing partners. Okay, so this is further. Although he may be admitted the benefits of the partner, the minor. So partner can demand the accounts of the firm. A co-partner cannot ask for the accounts of the firm from his father or HUF karta. And what he can do is he can only ask for the partition of the assets of the family firm. He cannot ask for anything else. Further, no registration of the family firm is necessary, while the partnership firm must be registered before it can maintain suits against the outsider. So any suit against the outsider, if it is to be maintained, then that is to be done by means that is the partners will be held responsible. Each and every partner means partners will be personally and severally responsible for any suits. So other co-partners are not at all responsible. So in case of filing a suit, only karta will. There is no registration also necessary, but in case of partnership firm, registration must be there in order to maintain the suits from the outsiders. Further, each partner has a defined share in the business, and this can be changed only by the agreement, but the share of the co-partner is not fixed. It may be enlarged by the death or reduced by the birth in the family. So whosoever new person will come, he will reduce the share of the other co-partners which is there, because he will also be having the share in the kitty. So there is a definite limit to the number of partners, but there is no limit in case of the HUF. So number of partners अभी मैंने बताया था ना, वो there is a limit to maximum minimum limit, but there is no limit in HUF. So HUF, or you can say Hindu joint family business, is governed by Hindu law, while the Indian Partnership Act governs the partnership, and the Companies Act is governed by Companies Act governs the company, and Normal Contract Act actually governs the co-partnership. Oh, sorry, the co-ownership. Okay. Now, what is the difference between company and the partnership? So, anyone, what is the basic difference? One basic, very important difference between company and partnership. What is that? Can anyone tell me? One basic difference between company and partnership. Yeah, Naman.
Sir, Chirayu.
Chirayu.
Sir, difference between partnership and company is the partnership is an unlimited liability business which is incorporated in nature, whereas the company is a limited liability partnership, limited liability business with corporation and government, and there is
Very good.
no
Very
more rules and regulations in partnership, and there is rules, certain
Yes.
rules and regulation in
Yes.
registration of
Partner limit the liability of the partner members of the company is limited to the extent of their share, whereas the liability of the partnership is unlimited to the extent their houses may also be sold if it is there is a debt. So that is what is a basic difference, or you can say the most important difference over here is that the partnership firm is not having any legal entity, whereas the company is having a legal entity. So let us just see the differences between the company and the partnership. So the member constituting the partnership do not form a whole as a distinct from the individual composing it. Okay, so that is what it is means. The firm has no legal entity and no rights and obligations separated from the partners. So all the partners, they actually bind each other, and that's why they are in partnership. In firm, every partner is an agent, the rest of the partners, but the member of a company is neither an agent nor a company. Neither they are the agent of the company nor the company is their agent, neither they are agent of any of the members of the company itself. So this mutual agency is totally absent in case of company, but in partnership it is there, because partners bind by their act each and every other partner of the firm. So company, as soon as it is incorporated, say by registration under the Companies Act, becomes the legal entity distinct from its members constituting it. So there is a case of Solomon versus Solomon, which actually endorses the legal entity of the company itself. So where the Solomon, and in this case, there are some interesting facts of this case is that the Solomon actually formed a company called Solomon and Company Limited, and transfer all his assets which he was having to the company, and against those assets he has taken a loan which was very high than those of the assets. Then afterwards he refused to pay the loan, and all the loan was actually said that it is the company who has taken the loan. I have not taken the loan, and it was decided in favor of Solomon that though Solomon has not taken the loan, it is the company which has taken the loan. Now it cannot be recovered from the assets of the company, because he actually sold the assets of the company to someone else, and he showed as if there are no assets of the company, only the debts are belonging to the banks are there, and then afterwards the debts actually become bad debts. Okay, so this is what is called a distinct entity, but it is not that much easy, because the case is of 1897. Then afterwards there have been many complications. There have been provisions of lifting and piercing of corporate veil if you are misusing the entity or legal entity of the company for anything which is not at all feasible, or which is not at all good. Then the court may just pierce the corporate veil and catch hold of the people, those who are behind the company and doing the wrong things. Okay, so this is what it is. So such thing is not there in case of partnership. Each and every partner will be personally liable and severally liable for the liabilities of the partnership firm. Further, it can be sued, and it can sue also, and it can be sued at its own name, because it's a artificial person. But the partnership, as it is having no distinct entity, such type of things cannot happen in case of partnership. So in partnership there are rights and obligations against the individual partner, but in case of company, the rights and obligations against the fictitious entity that is a company cannot be extended to the members as such. Further, the creditors of the partnership can call upon the individual partners to pay the firm debts, but the members of the company are not personally liable to pay the firm debt. So this is again what just now Chirayu told about the limited liability of this particular thing. Further, in other words, the partner's liability is unlimited, while the liability of the members of the company is limited to the extent of the amount of remaining unpaid on their shares. Next, partnership firm may dissolve by death or insolvency of partner, but a company will not be affected by the death or insolvency until and unless the company's name is removed from the register of members maintained by the registrar of companies of a respective state where the company is situated. There cannot be any reduction in such. Sir, I'm in the class. Okay, so this is what it is. Further, a partner cannot transfer his interest so as to substitute the transferee in place of as the partner without consent of all other partners. The member can transfer his share to someone else because there is free transferability of shares in case of company if it is a public limited company, and that too which is widely held, and there is no restriction normally. So this is what it is, means the partners can transfer their interest to other partners and all, but the members cannot transfer, the partners cannot transfer their interest or their partnership or their ownership on the partnership, you can say, to anyone else without the consent of the other partner, because partnership is considered to be a going concern. So every partner, whosoever, with whomsoever he has to work, he has to take consent of all, to take all the partners in the confidence, then only the things will happen, otherwise not. And a member can transfer his shares to anyone else, whosoever it wants, because it's again a going concern. But the thing is like that any n number of shares can be transferred, and daily there are transfer of shares. You might be seeing the stock exchange where the shares are sold and purchased. So members may come, members may go. The company will go on and on forever. But in case of partnership, if even one partner dies, there are certain things which are to be done, which are very serious matter to be discussed while in the case of death of a partner, regarding the goodwill, regarding whosoever will be his minor son may be admitted as a partner or not whatsoever. But in case of company, merely transmission of shares will work. So hardly matters whether people die or they take birth. Okay, so that is what it is. So we have learned about various types of, you can say, changes, or various types of characteristics of various types in case of the partnership, co-ownership, and Hindu undivided family. And that's why I gave you this assignment, that if you be sitting along with at least the basis which you have, which can be identified, you can write it while I'm teaching you, and remaining things you can do. I think within 15 minutes this assignment can be prepared by you by hand. So that's why I kept the today's date only. Let me see how many of you submit this assignment by today itself. Besides, I know that you are having other commitments also, but because this assignment is, I think most of you might have done it in the class itself, that and you are ready to submit it also. That's very good. And even before starting the class, Jayant has already done it. So that is well appreciable. So if people can do it, you all can also do it. So no problem. You just submit it by today. So let me see how many of you submitted today. Fine. So now I think the things are clear to you, that how the assignment is to be prepared and what you have to do actually in order to submit this assignment. Is that okay with all of you? Any problem? Anyone?
No problem, sir.
Any problem? Anyone?
No, sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
Yeah.
can you tell me the assignment once again, please?
Sudhir
Because
Singhal, you can
I'm a
ask.
little confused and
Okay, let me finish this. We'll tell you. We'll have some time at the end. So there are changes which are to be done in the firm. So these are the means whenever there is change in the constitution, changes in the nature of the business, duration of the firm. So these all are the things which can be changed, but these can be changed only with the consent of all the partners. So okay, when new partner is also introduced, when one partner retires, when partner is expelled. So there are certain things which are related to partners also. When partner dies, insolvent becomes insolvent. So these are the changes which are to be registered. So change is the nature of the business and can only be brought about by the consent of all the partners. Thus, the partnership formed for a definite purpose agreed upon at a time of formation of the partnership cannot depart from the agreed purpose without the consent of all the partners, right? So section 17C provides for a case whether a partnership firm is formed for a particular undertaking or undertaking it proceeds to carry on the other undertakings, or in case in that event the mutual rights and duties of the partners in respect to the other adventures for the undertaking remains the same as those in the respect of the original ventures of the undertaking, right? So this is regarding change. So even partnership property is there. So it is open to the partners to agree upon themselves that what is to be treated as a property of the firm and what will be treated as their separate property. Although employed for the purpose of the firm, no problem, because it is totally depends on the partners that to what extent they just want to, bring the property in the firm's kitty. So every partner will be bringing something. Some people will be bringing cash, some people will be giving their car, some people will be giving their, building or something like that in order to, pool their resources all together. So it totally depends at what they want to include and what they do not want to include. Even if the property is used, the ownership can remain with the with those partners who have actually extended their assets for the firm. So all the property rights and interests which have been brought into the common stock for the purpose of the partnership by the individual partners, whether at the commencement of the business or subsequently added thereto. Further, those acquired in course of the business with money belonging to the firm and goodwill of the business. So these are the three major, you can say, sources by which the partnership can acquire property. First, at the time of formation of the partnership, those who are bringing their assets in the common stock of partnership, that is one. Or the partnership can also acquire the assets during their course of business from the money belonging to the firm. And third one is last one is the goodwill of the business which the business creates. So this is what is regarding the partnership property. Okay. So further, the property of the firm belongs to the firm and not to the individual partners. The ownership belongs to the firm, and no partner can deal specifically with those properties by their considering that as their own, because once you have given the property in the firm's kitty, now it belongs to the firm. Though, because again, firm is not having its own legal you can say existence. So partner, that property will be in the name of the partner only. But as it has brought in the firm's kitty now, so that partnership, that particular, now that property will belong to the firm, because that particular partner, in place of his own contribution towards the firm, has given the this particular property to the firm itself. Okay. So what is meant by the share of the partner is his proportion of the partnership assets after they are realized and converted into money, and all the partnership debts and the liabilities have been paid and discharged. Okay. If certain partners jointly own the immovable property which they use for the purpose of partnership business, mere use of
Hi guys,
Actually, I'm joining from my phone now because this is not working. The net is not there. So am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So I was on the last slide actually. So I was just discussing with you what happens means what is the property, what are the methods of acquiring the property, and what partners can do with the partnership property. Okay, so that is regarding, and the source and the partnership property. Actually, you can say the source of what how you can acquire means what are the points to be discussed regarding the property of the partnership, the source of purchasing money, the reason due to which the property was purchased, the object for which the property was purchased or acquired, the mode in which the property has been obtained, and the mode in which the property was dealt with, and the use of the property was put to. So these all will decide whether a property belongs to a firm or whether a property belongs to a particular partner. Okay, so most important thing is the source of the money from which this property has been purchased. So that is the most important thing which we have to consider. So tomorrow we will study about the various kinds of partners. Yeah, if anyone is still having any problem regarding how to do the assignment, you can ask me. But connection is not there in my computer, so I may not be able to just see anything regarding the means will not be able to show you anything regarding this. But I have already explained. So what I will do is after, if I will, because I don't know whether I will be able to get the video of this or not, but if I will be able to get it, then definitely will just upload the video as all the videos are being uploaded. You can see it over there. Surbi, would that be okay with you?
Yes, sir.
Or Surbi, you just give me a call after the class. I will tell you how to prepare it.
Okay, sir.
Fine. Okay, guys, then let me just take the attendance. Yeah. So please say yes, sir, while attendance is being said. Okay. Akash Jain, Abhishek Singh Sisodia, Adhiraj, Akash Jindal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ayush Verma, Azan Ayub, Deepak Thanwani, Dipendra Gujar, Dheeraj Lamba.
Yes, sir.
Dipti Rakesh, Devyanshi,
Dheeraj Lamba present.
Fazal Ahmad Khan,
Present, sir.
Hardik Raheja,
Present, sir.
Nepal Singh, Jayan Divedi, Kanish Bilochi, Kashish Sharma,
Present, sir. Kanish.
Saki Chaudhary, Mir Agarwal, Naman
Present, sir. Sharma.
Poplani, Parija Gupta, Parth Gautam, Pranav Sharma, Priyam Soni,
Present, sir.
Raghav Malpani,
Yes, sir.
Raghav Singhal, Rishabh Goyal.
Raghav Singhal present, sir.
Yeah, Rishabh
Rishabh
Goyal,
Goyal present, sir.
Kanungo, Ritik Yadav, Ritvik Sethi, Sagar Shirvi, Sahil Khandelwal, Sangya Gupta, Shashank Bhosla, Shivam, Priyansh,
Sir.
Shubhang, Srajal, Surbhi Singhal,
present, sir.
Manish Agarwal, Tarun Singh, Ujjwal Gupta, Vaishnavi Mishra,
Yes, sir.
Aditya Singh, Vishal Chaudhary, Shashwik
Present, sir.
and Yashpal
Present,
Singh.
sir.
Present, sir.
Sir, Raghav Malpani present, sir.
Yeah.
Shivam present, sir.
Yes, guys. Yeah. Anything you want to ask? So today absent is Aditya Chopra, Ayushi Sharma, Abhay Singh, Abhay Jain, I mean to say. Abhay Singh also, Abhay Jain, Ayushi Sharma and Aditya Chopra. These people are not there in the class today. There are others also, Gaganjeet Singh, Sandeep Singh Bhati, Arvind Vishnoi. These people are not in the class. Long list, anyways. Or they might have recently left.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, just wait. Just don't leave the class. Just wait for a minute. Let me just download. Just coming on the online itself through my the computer. I've given a hotspot actually. Just wait for 2 minutes more. Yes, guys. Thank you. Let me just download the attendance.